Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel where we talk about how to build credit, how to establish relationships with financial institutions, and how to get you access to high limit credit funding. So, for today's video, I'm going over a topic. This is actually from a question that I received through my email in regards to what is gardening as it relates to building credit. And in this video, I'm just going to break down exactly what gardening is as it relates to credit and how to go about doing that in the most efficient manner. So basically, what gardening is, it's when you open up various different credit accounts and you essentially let those accounts build up history and build up age. The reason why you want to build up age is because you want to generate as many data points as possible. So each time that you make a payment, in each month that goes by, where you're making a payment on a credit account, you're generating an additional data point. And to build a very strong credit profile, a thick credit profile, you're going to need multiple accounts with data points across certain length of time. Obviously, the longer the time period where that account's open, the thicker your profile is going to be. The reason why you want to have a thicker profile is because it's just more data for different financial institutions to utilize when underwriting you for a particular credit product or a loan, etc. And the strategy that you want to use, let's say if you're starting off with a clean slate, a fresh new credit profile, um, you're going to want to work your way up to through the different tiers of the credit hierarchy. And a lot of consumers don't understand the hierarchy of the credit system. So there's certain accounts that are somewhat catered to newer or lower, less established credit profiles, and then there are accounts that are more geared towards established credit. So consumers who have a long track record of good credit, management, and they basically have the accounts and the data points to back it up. Now, the reason why you would want a thick profile is because after a certain point, you have enough data points, or more than enough data points to establish your credit worthiness. When you're first starting out, you're not going to have very many data points. So there's going to be certain credit products that, generally going to be like secured credit cards or somewhat of the subprime credit cards with low limits, etc. So when you're gardening, you want to essentially open up accounts. And I would say generally, you're going to want to open, let's say, two accounts at the same time or within the same relative time span. So that could be the same day or the same week. The reason why you want to open these in the same proximity is because you want those accounts to age together, um, instead of spacing them out. Because if you space them out, then when you open a subsequent account, the average age is going to be lowered because that new account is going to lower the average of your overall. So when you open them up, let's say within a week apart, a year down the road, both of those accounts going to be a year old, versus if you open up one today and one a year from now, in a year, that your average age of account is going to be 6 months instead of 1 year. And so the key with gardening, you also want to limit the number of new accounts that you open up within a given time period. Generally, accounts are considered new when they're less than 3 months old. However, certain institutions, they look at the number of new accounts within a year, or in some cases within a 2 year, 24 month period. So the key with gardening is maintaining these accounts, keeping them in good standing for a certain amount of time. Then once those accounts sort of start to generate data points each month, positive data points each month. Then after, let's say, a year or so, you can consider opening up, another two accounts, and et cetera, et cetera. So the key with gardening is, building up data points, adding positive payments. You really want to build a relationship with the institution. And, when you start a relationship with a financial institution, a bank, credit union, after time, certain financial products will start to become available for you, because now that institution has, aside from your credit reports, they have internal data and metrics that they track, as far as your spending habits, your repayment habits, things like that. So when you're gardening, you really want to strategize, specific accounts that you hope to, apply for at a certain time down the road, and just prepare yourself, to be in the optimal position to be able to apply for those accounts. One example is the Chase 524 rule. So let's say you want a Chase account, but you're already over that 5 accounts within 24 months. In that case, then, if that's really where you want to go, then you're going to have to refrain from utilizing or even applying for new accounts, until, you reach that period where there's no new accounts. Then you could apply, because, like I said, some institutions are very inquiry or new account sensitive. So, you just kind of have to prepare yourself. And then with gardening, depending on where you are in your credit building journey, like I said, there's a hierarchy. So you have to sort of work your way up. You're not going to just jump out to, like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Amex Platinum, or, the US Bank Reserve, like those types of cards. You're going to have to work your way up. So, you work your way up through the tiers. And gardening is one of the most important steps in doing that, because you're just continuing to maintain your accounts, build more data points, and then once you have a thicker profile, then you could start to get some of these higher limits and more prestigious, I guess, types of credit accounts. So again, gardening, you're going to want to probably stick to one or two accounts. I think if you're first starting out, if you have less than 5 accounts, then you could, probably do, probably want to do one at a time. But once you have some accounts under your belt, you could do, let's say, 2 accounts within the same proximity of each other, because you have some other accounts that will still hold up your average age as you add new accounts to your credit profile. And so gardening is basically when you're refraining from opening new accounts for a given amount of time. And it's essentially, if you think about it in the same way that you garden, plants, you're planting a seed, building that relationship, nurturing it, making sure that it's in good standing. And then eventually, that relationship will start to bear, fruit, or, whatever it is. Just in the same way that as you build a relationship with a financial institution, more types of product, services, lower rates, better rewards and perks and stuff like that start to open up. So that's all I wanted to share for this video. If you're interested in the right way to go about gardening, you could definitely hit us up, info@credit plug, and we could kind of walk you through, based on your credit profile and goals, what's sort of the right credit products for you to pursue. And then, depending on what your goals are, we could, sort of guide you on the best method to go about reaching that. So until next time, y'all take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.